The responsible investment decisions that can be made by the university can have massive political impact and can be viewed in some ways as political actions that have ramifications beyond the exact financial implications. And so my choice of products in my own life doesn't have those big political implications. There are very few politicians looking through my bathroom closet and figuring out, where my shampoo comes from.
The grant that the BC government gives the university is being cut by 4%. Every single faculty and department is hence being asked to cut their operating budget by 4%. Smaller faculties and smaller departments are disproportionately affected just because we don't have as large of an operating budget as the social sciences or wherever it may be. So there are places in those larger faculties that cuts can be made that aren't directly felt by students as much as in smaller faculties. In any situation, I think it's important that we look at the big picture. I don't know if it's necessarily fair to make every faculty across the board cut the same amount. If they have a smaller operating budget, it may not be feasible for some faculties to be cut by the same amount. So we may have to look at equitability rather than equality.
We also want to work with the UVic Advisory Committee on students with disabilities and its student members to ensure the committee is effective. I support expanding the committee to Senate Standing Committee so it will be more effective in revising the university's policies on students with disabilities to more clearly enshrine their rights. We also want to lobby for Student Aid BC to make the application process for grants and scholarships for disabilities less complex.
We were $300,000 in debt a couple years ago, and we're still in that debt. This year is actually the UVSS is projected to come out of the debt right now, but at this point, we shouldn't really be cutting any fees coming in to our organization if we are sitting in debt.
But I have done a lot of events that have involved alcohol and have not involved alcohol, and obviously gender is it's a very serious topic. And not only that, I feel like you're completely correct in saying that alcohol does do these things. And if I were to become events director, I would make sure, and like she said before, there is a diversity of events. You don't just want parties, and you don't just want things. You want things where students can actually come together and have a fun time together where you don't have to worry about those types of problems.
One of my main platform areas I'm really trying to work on is having safety be a huge concern for all events. Doesn't matter if alcohol is involved or not, that should always be a concern if that's addressed. And that there are many steps to take, and I really look forward to talking to people who are a lot more educated about these issues to make sure everything's implemented correctly.
It's almost an unavoidable problem where you're going to get binge drinking and stuff like that, but I would really like to work with you and with anybody else on the board with actually getting our promotions and making sure people are safe, and that's all we can really do is we can just try our best.
Frosh weeks are absolute hell for community leaders because absolutely the binge drinking and the amount of ambulance calls we make during Frosh weeks are a lot more, especially with bringing in paramedic stuff. And that's why one of the things I want to do as a student affairs director is to help increase funding for community leaders, increase their numbers, because they are both underfunded, I believe, and they're also understaffed.
During these events, it's also important to have safer spaces, zones, and people. So those campaigns are great, and it's great to have awareness that sexualized violence is happening on our campaign, but we need to have a foundation where you can spot out safer spaces, people that are working for the student society, and also tents, maybe signifying with certain colors, and making sure everyone knows that those are people that you can go to when you feel unsafe in a space or if you just want to talk, but that's really important.
Thank you.